So the TT is very much packed up right now if you guys can't tell, and the reason for that is because today we're going to be taking a road trip in the car. What's up guys, hope you're having a great day today. Today, like I mentioned, we're going to be road tripping the TT and seeing how it does. The thing I'm really looking forward to seeing is fuel economy in this car. I got 24-ish miles a gallon when I was driving my BMW Z3 on road trips, so this car I think can do a lot better. I've already averaged about 31 on like a mix of highway and city streets, so when I'm on majority highways, I really want to see how it does. My prediction right now, I'm going to say is probably 33, 34 miles a gallon, but I guess we won't know until we get in the car. So let's get in the car. Cold start, 2016 Audi TT. So I've been on the road all of like a few minutes now, like 3 minutes. I'm already at 14 miles a gallon, which I think is fairly good for myself. Whenever I drive around my university, I typically get maybe 14 when I finish the drive. So to get it here, admittedly it is dropping, like it's already down to 13 and a half because I've been driving for so little time, and the average kind of, yeah, there's outliers in that case. The thing I'm worried about a lot with this is like, I guess if the car freaks out at all, because like when I started road tripping the Z3, the first road trip I did, that's when problems arose. That's when my transmission fault came in. That's when my check engine light came in. Before that, car was flawless. It was doing perfectly fine, driving great. So I would just want to get this thing over there, make sure the check engine light doesn't come on, make sure the airbag light doesn't come on, nothing. So fingers crossed. I'm sure it'll do fine, but I'm still a bit worried about it, you know? Update, we're at about 25.5 miles a gallon, and there's a 911 over there. You know you're in good company when the slowest car in your like little group that you formed on the highway is the 911, so yeah. Oh, hoo, hoo, look at that. I think one of my big concerning points for this entire trip is gonna be if I hit the brakes, then I think something from there is gonna hit me in the head. That's what I was really worried about. I did like a test run with all the stuff in the back, and I found a few things that were a bit loose, so I threw them all the way in the back, but I still don't know. I'm still a bit nervous, especially with the fact that there's a bunch of junk over here as well. And we finally hit 30 miles a gallon. It took about 35 minutes, about a third of which I spent at lights and stop signs, but we finally hit 30 miles a gallon, about 29 miles into this trip. So I got about, I'd say 80 more to go. So who knows, maybe I'll get more. Okay, so quick little fuel stop. Halfway into the trip, we're at about 32.1 miles a gallon, driven for exactly 1 hour and gone about 49 miles. I mean, 32.1, that's pretty good. I think that's probably one of the best that I've ever had. So you really can't complain about that now, can you? So looking at my last tank, it says I drove about 253 miles on a tank of gas. And I used about, according to the receipt, I used somewhere around, where's the thingy? So about 9.081 gallons of gas drove me 253 miles. So if we go into the handy dandy calculator on my cell phone, we do 253 divided by 9.081. That means that I got 27.86 miles per gallon, which is actually a fairly conservative estimate coming from the car in that case, saying that I got 27.5. So that's an interesting thing to think about now. So now we got about, I don't even know how many miles. I still got to punch into the map, but I think we got somewhere around 60 more miles to go, and then we're there, and then I'll give you the full estimate from there. Y'all, this is one of the days where I'm so mad I don't have a dash cam. I just saw, I think it's like the NFS M3, like the E46 with the blue and silver thing. Oh my God, I'm so jealous of the fact that I don't have a dash cam. If I did, I'd show you guys. Holy crap, I'm in some random small town as well. Like, I'm only a few miles out from where I got my reckless driving ticket. How here is there an E46 NFS M3? Holy crap. Now here's the great thing about the TT. I'm doing about 73 miles an hour and I'm getting 40 something miles a gallon on flat land as well. Are you serious? That's insane. I have not seen another sports car do 40 miles a gallon whilst going on flat land. That's a new one. I think the Insight, like the first generation Honda Insight, was the only example I can think of, but do we consider that a sports car? I'm not sure. It does have a manual though, so maybe we can consider that a sports car. So we're about 83 miles into the drive, and I have to say, it's going fairly good. Like, I'm comfortable, I'm not too uncomfy. I think I would rather spend my hour and a half to like 3 hours driving this car than the Clarity, because the Clarity, it's decently comfortable, I have to say. The cloth seat inserts, though, are the part that get me because they just get so uncomfortable very quickly. Versus this, it has the nice stitched leather and it just works so much better. Along with that, we've been averaging through the entire trip 32.4 miles a gallon, and through, I guess, the second half of the trip, 33 miles per gallon. So it's decent numbers, I have to say, that I'm doing on this second half. There's not been many lights, if any, and it's just been a lot of smooth, I guess, just simple roads like this. Man, I gotta say, driving this car, like, seriously, comparing it to the Z3, which I know some people may argue is not a good comparison, obviously, but like, comparing it to my Z3, this just feels so much nicer, more plush. There's no incessant droning. The car is holding at about 2,000 RPM, which you got to appreciate. Along with that, I'm getting over 30 miles per gallon driving this thing. The car takes 87. This car is a great road trip car, honestly, in my opinion. It's much more plush, you can hold a lot more stuff in it, and it just, I mean, it makes sense. There's no incessant droning. I don't have a headache at all, and I don't plan to have a headache, because, I mean, there's no reason to have a headache. It's just, it's so much more, just, it's luxurious, which, I mean, Audi is a luxury car company, so is BMW, but they're also a sporty car company at the same time. So in that instance, yeah, it kind of makes some sense, but this car also does the sportiness fairly well. I have a very tight steering because I have the, I believe, dynamic steering mode, as well as the wing up on the car, which the wing, some people may argue, doesn't do much, but I feel a difference in it. Like, honestly, this car, it's just so much more fun for me to drive. Like, I think between this and the Clarity, this is my favorite car out of the two. And I think even compared to other sports cars, this would be probably one of my more favorite ones. Alrighty, so on the second half of this trip, I averaged 33.3 miles per gallon with a peak of 34 miles per gallon. I went 72 miles on that. And then in the total trip, I averaged 32.8 miles per gallon with a peak of, I want to say, right around 33.5 miles per gallon, with a total distance of 122.6 miles. Along with that, the car received no check engine lights, no issues whatsoever. It was comfortable, and I have to say, this was a successful trip. So good job, Audi. I'm really proud of you. So it's the next day, and like an idiot somehow, I forgot to film the outro. So big brain move on my part. Though I have to say, at this angle, you got to admit, the TT kind of sort of looks like a mini Veyron or a mini Chiron. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, look at the curve. Look at the curve of the side blade. Like, it kind of does look like a C for Chiron. Anyways, I'm getting well off topic. I have to say, the road trip, in my opinion, it went great. The car got about 32 miles a gallon. At its peak, it got 34, like I mentioned. And I have to say, for a turbocharged four-cylinder, that's pretty impressive. I do think I could have done better on the trip to, you know, not use as much gas, because I had a lot of bad lights. I had a really bad intersection that took me, like, I'd say a good 5 or 6 minutes to get out of. I also unnecessarily accelerated a lot on hills. What I should have done from the beginning, which is what I did in the second half of the trip, would be on downhills, I would essentially give it some gas, accelerate a little bit, so that way I can actually get up the hill a lot more efficiently, versus what I did in the first half, which would be basically let off the gas completely on the downhill and then accelerate a lot on the uphills, which costed me, I think, a good few miles per gallon, or not a few miles per gallon, but a bit of fuel economy. I think under the most ideal, maximal conditions, if I were to completely hypermile this thing, including like drafting with another car, I think I could possibly get 39, maybe 40 miles a gallon, which doesn't sound like much in today's world of, you know, 60 mile per gallon hybrids. But for some context, my 2018 Honda Clarity is ranked by the EPA to do about 40 to 44 miles per gallon. If I can get a similar mileage to that in a two-door Audi sports car with, quite frankly, a lot more luxury than a Clarity, I think that that's quite impressive in my opinion. If you don't agree with me on that, let me know in the comments below. But just like that, today's video is over. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know your thoughts on today's video in the comments below. And if you like what you're seeing, leave subscribe. And just like that, I'm out. I definitely do recommend the Audi TT for a road trip. Peace.